Pigs are loving their new home. Play with the bag. You can play with the bag. They're like kids on Christmas. They'd rather have the bag than what was inside. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. You're the first retrieving pig. Today we're going to make the Quail an automatic watering system. As you remember, we got Quail about a month or so ago. We have them in one of our barns in a cage, and you know, I've just been using a regular water that has like a mason jar on top to give them their water, but I have to change that at least once a day, sometimes even more often than that. And you know, we just get busy on the homestead, and I hate to have things, you know, where I need to change them that often so that I don't forget to do it. So today I'm going to make them a water that will hold 5 gallons of water. It should be a fairly easy project, but I thought I'd show you how I'm going to do it. The first thing in that I'll do is I'll show you all of the parts that I went out and bought. The first thing is a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. Nothing special about that, just one from Walmart. The next thing is I bought these nipple waterers. These are poultry waterers, and they just have a little nipple here on the inside, and like a little, not really cup, but a little thing here on the bottom. I got a 25 pack of these. They were fairly inexpensive. I'll leave a link in our Amazon shop so you guys can check those out. The next thing that we need is a piece of PVC pipe. I just cut a piece of 1/2-inch pipe, 18 inches long. The next thing is this right here, which I picked up at my local farm supply store. This is a tank bung. This will actually go into the 5-gallon bucket. These tank bungs are threaded on the inside, so what we'll do is we'll screw this little barb here on the inside of that once it's in the bucket, and then to that we're going to attach a piece of tubing, vinyl tubing. This is 9/16 inch tubing. On one end of the PVC pipe will be a coupling that's threaded. On the end of that we'll screw in another one of these little barbs for the other end of the hose. And then a cap just for the other end of the PVC pipe. It should be a fairly straightforward project. What we're going to do is we're going to start by drilling the holes into our PVC pipe. It says to use an 11/32 inch bit to do this, and we're going to install 3 of these nipples on here. We only have 8 quail right now. 3 should be plenty. Really 2 would probably be fine, but I'm going to do 3 on here today. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is mark out our locations to install the nipples. So again, this piece of PVC pipe is 18 inches long. So we're going to mark center, which is 9 inches. And then we're going to mark half of that, which is 4.5 inches. And then we're going to mark another 4.5 inches at 13.5. So those will be the spots where our holes will be drilled. Alright, now that we have our holes drilled, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and insert the actual waterers into the pipe. And we're going to put the 2 end caps onto the piece of PVC. For now, I'm not going to glue these on. I'm going to just put them on. There's not a lot of pressure on here. So if these will stay, not leaking without gluing them, I'm going to leave them that way. So that way, if I ever need these parts later for something else, I have them. But if it leaks, I have some PVC glue. I'll glue them on. So these waterers will screw directly into the PVC pipe. There's no need for any special adapters or anything else. And it says you shouldn't even need any Teflon tape or anything like that, so that they should just screw directly in. It does seem like it's screwed in. It looks like a pretty nice tight fit. So alright, so we have all 3 waterers connected to the piece of PVC pipe. I'll have to tell you, the second 2 went in really hard. I had to really push and screw them in. So if you get them and they're hard to put in, just keep at it. They do eventually screw in, but they were hard to thread in. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is just attach this little barbed end here on the PVC pipe. And now we'll get ready to install this bung on the bucket. For this, I'm going to use a hole saw. This is an 1.25 inch hole saw, but you'll want to look at whatever size fitting you get here, and you know, put in drill a hole that's just slightly larger than that fitting. And you want to go, you know, a couple inches up off the top or off the bottom of the bucket. That way if any dirt gets in and settles, it's going to settle to the bottom of the bucket and not come out through your line into your water. So we've got our hole in our bucket, and now we'll just install this in the bucket. And these are reverse thread, so when you're putting it in, keep in mind that it's reverse thread, and you're just gonna hand tighten that. You shouldn't need any tools to tighten that. Just hand tight should be fine. And then we're going to install the other barb. Here on the outside of the bucket. And again, we'll test this all for leaks in a little bit, and if we need to add any Teflon tape or anything to any of these, that's what we'll do. Alright, and then we can install our piece of hose here. Perfect. Let's go in by the quail, and we'll start hooking this up on their cage. Alright, so I'm going to install the waterer here on this side of the cage. Now in our barn we have this windowsill here, that there's a window that goes between the 2 sections of the barn, so I've just screwed a board here that I can set the 5-gallon bucket on, and that should be plenty of height to give water pressure to this. Alright, so now that I have my bucket up here, I went ahead and attached the water line to the bucket and to the piece of PVC pipe inside the cage. And I actually used my heat gun to soften up the tube just a little bit so that I could get it onto the barbs easier. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the piece of PVC pipe to the cage itself. So I think I'm going to attach the PVC about 4 inches off the bottom of the cage, which would be this second wire here, because these are 2-inch tall squares. So we're going to go ahead and do that with just regular zip ties. Now I'm putting the zip ties over the edges of the waterers in hopes that that will prevent it from turning inside the cage. And it seems to be working well. It's really all set up now. Everything is connected, so I'm going to go grab the garden hose and we will fill up the bucket, check for leaks, and see what the quail do with it. Alright, so it's all hooked up. There are just a couple spots that I can see there's a little bit of a drip, especially where those barbed pieces screw in, so I'll put some Teflon tape on those. Other than that, it seems to be working well. The quail are already curious about it. I haven't seen any of them actually drink out of it yet, but they're definitely curious about it, and it looks like they want to kind of peck at, you know, the little bit of water that's there. So I think they're going to use it, but for the next few days at least, I'm going to leave their regular water in here as well, just so that you know, they have time to learn about this one and they're not out of water in the meantime. So all in all, I think it's a good project. I'll give you guys updates after it's hooked up for, you know, a week or so and let you know how it's working out. So if this is your first time visiting our homestead, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button before you leave. If you're one of our traditionalists who's been following us since we got these quail, since we got the pigs, since everything that's been going on this summer, we sure do thank you guys. Don't forget to share this on all your social media with anybody that you think would enjoy it. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.